Hey everybody, welcome to eachother.com. I'm Bobby and today we're taking a look at the Rhino-Rack Vortex Crossbars here on our 2021 Ford Bronco Sport. Now we are also using the Rhino-Rack SX Series to go ahead and actually clamp onto our raised side rails here, as you guys can see. But that's going to make it really easy to go ahead and throw these guys on. I'm a big fan of Rhino-Rack. They just seem to A, look really good, B, work really good, and C, be really easy to install in my mind. So we're gonna break down that install later in the video for you guys. If you guys are wondering, but really simple and straightforward. You do have about 165 pounds of weight capacity with this guy, which is awesome. You're gonna have a very decent time going ahead and throwing up almost any of the accessories you guys want. And in my opinion, the Ford Bronco Sport is definitely gonna need a lot of help in its cargo space. We do not have much room here in that back seat. So we start throwing people in there, book packs, quickly start filling this up, coolers, whatever else in the back. We're really not gonna have a lot of room to work with initially, so anything we can do to help save us a little bit of that is gonna go a long way. What's great about this guy too, it does have a nice low profile design. I think it looks pretty good here on the Ford Bronco Sport, not adding too much height, which is excellent. Still leaving us the room to add our taller accessories, which is excellent, but still having a lot of good clearance there as well. So I don't think any kind of accessory you throw on here is gonna have too much trouble, but we are gonna hop up and give you guys those dimensions just here in a little bit. And one thing that's great too, you do have a T-slot attachment at the top here. So with our end caps removed, we can take a closer look here on the inside. As you guys can see, we do have a nice little T-slot channel. Of course, you're gonna have to go ahead and actually take out your stripping and then cut it to size for your accessories. We definitely wanna be filling those holes so we don't have any kind of wind whistle as we go down the road. You guys can see that nice H protrusion as well throughout the entirety of the bar, giving us a nice solid support. One thing I love about these, you don't see a sag in the middle as you start seeing on some of the more lower end racks out there, you know, your more economic based ones. But these guys really holding up well, which is excellent. Well, as I said earlier, the install for this guy really doesn't take any time at all. Let's go ahead and see how we can get it on our roof. All right, everyone, to begin our installation, what we want to do is simply take our SX Series foot pads here. Now at the top, you guys may need to thread these on, but it's really easy to do so. Just simply get on those threads just like you're seeing. That way they can actually start slotting into the bottom channel here on our Vortex bar. So all we need to do, simply place it just like that. You guys can see that's going to let it slide all the way on there. Then I can open up those foot pads again. Well, there we are, already put in place. We can go ahead and add our foot pads on if we want, but we can go ahead and do that as well to our either sides. Now you can lock them at this point, but I'm gonna wait in case I need to pull these guys out for whatever reason. Then we simply wanna take our bar and just simply walk it up to our roof. So we already have our rear one seated on here. All we have to do, simply place this anywhere on our bars. And now this is where really things can kind of be up to you guys. So Rhino-Rack doesn't have a specific set for their racks on here. And you guys can see we have a lot of usable raised rail here. So we can set this how we want. Really what we are looking for though, having a minimum distance of about 24 inches, about 2 feet. A lot of accessories are gonna need that just to get a good base for your accessories. And at this point too, it can be really nice once you actually have this set how you want to. We're gonna go ahead and kind of be a little arbitrary here in a second and pick a set for ourselves. I like to move myself to the rear of my vehicle or the front as well. And you guys can just kind of eyeball here how much overhang we have on either side. So I am seeing a little bit needs to go that way, just a tad. So what I'll do, I'll just kind of tap this over a little, right? But now we actually do want to go ahead and actually find the right length that we want. So now that I've set my rear bar, I'm going to take 24 inches from here and get this guy set. So let's do that together. So I just simply want to go from our rear bar here today, right in the middle. And look at that, we're already at 24 inches, so that's great. For today's purposes, we're gonna go ahead and stick with that. I do need to go ahead and check the other side as well to make sure we're nice and aligned. And of course, we can start getting our overhang. So right now, I have about 2 1/4 to the end of my cap right there. So let's go ahead and measure that to the other side and get it nice and aligned. Since we haven't locked our end caps, it's gonna be really easy to pull them off now. And now we are gonna need to tighten this little inner screw there. That's basically gonna get us nice and tight here on our raised rail and hold us in our positions. So we can go ahead and use the included tool here from Rhino-Rack. You guys can see it has a little bit of a curved edge here. What we want, as I'm torquing this down, it's gonna get straight. And once it is completely straight, then we know we're at that right torque level that we wanna be at. So we can just be a little gentle with it and bring it in until it's nice and secure. So here we are getting towards the end of it. You guys can see I'm getting pretty straight right there. and I am getting good resistance on here. So we don't need to be too crazy. Let's go ahead and tighten down the other side and then give it a nice double check. Well, now that we've repeated that process on all the rest of our feet towers, you guys can see we are nice and secure on there. So last thing is to go ahead and replace that end cap and lock it up if you want to. Now the very last steps are going to be for you guys at home. We do have these little cutouts here on the underside, right, where our towers are fitting in. If we don't fill that back in with the included rubber stripping, that can start making a lot of noise, get a lot of reverb as you start reaching those high speeds. So of course, highly recommend inserting those. And of course, at the top here, you guys are probably going to have to insert your Vortex rubber here at the top. So go ahead and fill in those gaps as well. And bear in mind, if you do have any accessories, that'll be up to you to cut to size as well. Well, now that we have it installed, we can hop up on here and start seeing how it's interacting with our roof. So the big thing is going to be how much height are we adding, right? So I'm going to take it from the top of my corrugate here to the very top of our Vortex bar. And that is going to be putting you right at about 3 3/8 of an inch, just a little underneath that really. And of course that is from the top corrugate. On the underside here, you are definitely going to have a little bit more clearance as well. So not going to be too worried about here. You can almost fit 4 fingers length of width there, which is great. On the underside though here, we do have just a little bit of a clearance issue potentially. Probably not an issue, but it's good to go ahead and get this measurement. And it looks like we're gonna be right about 2 inches there for ourselves to get that clearance. Now, why that might be important, if you do have any kind of clamp style accessories that don't use their T-slot, you're gonna make sure you need to have that clearance. Now, of course, you can always go ahead and just use a shorter bolt if you're having a little bit of issue with a lot of those accessories. So that's one thing to kind of keep in mind. Now, I do like the Vortex bars, just because of their general shape. The Aero elliptical look is going to really help hopefully cut down on some of that wind drag, any of that wind resistance we might be experiencing. And I really do like their top rubber. It kind of looks nice, but that Vortex kind of supposed to kind of help cut down a little bit on that wind drag as well, rather than just be a rubber piece that's kind of like full bodied and really eating up room, hopefully allowing that airflow to go right through. Well guys, as you saw, that installation didn't take too much time at all, and I'm really glad that we're not adding too much height to our roof, but still giving ourselves plenty of clearance for almost any of the accessories, at least that we have in the shop, which is great. I really do like the locking cores on here. Yeah, they're just plastic right now. If that's something that concerns you and you want a metal locking core to go ahead and start securing all of A, your roof rack, but B, those T-slot accessories you start adding on here, you could also recommend or look at getting the upgrade here. They do have metal locks. If you just scroll a little bit down in that item description on your page you're looking at, you'll be able to find those guys pretty easy. And what's great about those, they're really not that expensive in my mind, especially if you start comparing them to some of the other premium locking cores out there. They're really not too bad for getting a nice secure hold on your stuff. But honestly, the plastic's gonna work great. It's just a little bit of deterrence, just to keep honest people honest, right? Overall, I think the Rhino-Rack Vortex bars here are just a great look for the Ford Bronco Sport. We're getting a lot of capability too. 165 pounds is great. Now, if you guys are needing something a little bit more heavy duty, you could start looking at some of those HD bars, some of those core bars out there, give you a little bit more. But honestly, I think this is all we're really looking for, right? Something to go ahead, throw up a few of our accessories, get some of that bigger, bulkier cargo out of our way, and start enjoying our ride inside of our Ford Bronco Sport. Well guys, I think that about does it for our look at the Rhino-Rack Vortex Crossbars here on our 2021 Ford Bronco Sport. I'm Bobby, thank you for watching.